Good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's session, and I'd like to invite Emmanuel to share with us a video before we start. Welcome.
Kenya's unemployment rate has doubled over the past 3 months from 5.2% to 10.4%.
High level of unemployment has left Kenya with one of the highest dependency ratios in the world at 75.4%, arising from the large number of unemployed youth as such. The inhibiting factor is a dependency on the small number of low-income earners.
And as Abdi Aziz Hashim reports, the high rate of unemployment has made most of the applicants optimistic that they will secure jobs despite the few numbers
told
required.
graduates that they are stepping out of class to no jobs and called on them to join hands with the government to create jobs.
Oh, mnasema mambo ya job. Eh? Hapo iko kibarua.
Well, President William Ruto has touted ICT and innovation as the next frontier for industrial revolution. Speaking,
Kenya is a country of great opportunity, especially in the tech space. And we deliberately chose that this Jamhuri is going to be about innovation and is going to be about technology. When we
Hello, my name is Emmanuel Kimutai. I'm a JCOT student and a professional software engineer out here.
I'm Gabriel Okemwa, GDC lead at JCOT, currently pursuing actuarial science and a software engineer by profession.
The Tech Hut really is a platform where devs come in and learn how to not just code, but learn how to build real life software that solve real world problems. And after this, building this software, here at the Tech Hut, we take the extra mile of actually taking this product to market and possibly gaining revenue from that. And by doing that, we not only provide a platform where developers can upskill, but also a place where they're able to earn a living through this and create jobs if they're able to succeed in their venture. It's quite interesting, the skill gap in Kenya. So while coming up with this idea in the Tech Hut, we were thinking around, let's just scrap university, scrap education and start things from scratch. Well, what about the millions of graduates that are churned out daily? So to meet the demand of this existing skill gap, we decided that instead of disrupting an entire industry, we decided why not adapt and find a niche where we can occupy after university. It will be like a postgraduate trainee program where people are actually given the relevant skills to make them able to do their job. So it's a win-win situation for everyone, where we are looking to partner with companies. They give us a standard JD, like what it is they require, and then we actually train specific resources to that. And by doing that, we believe that we can unlock a massive economic opportunity in Kenya and not have to export our talent out there. The vision behind the Tech Hut is to expand really beyond tech. So expand because there are millions of people who graduate out here and they did engineering, they did actuarial science, they did business. So to expand and be a graduate trainee program for those courses also, and really give people the power to build. So here we believe that the solutions for Africa will be sourced by Africans themselves, and more so the youth, because we form a large number of the population, and the youth in Africa have the potential to solve the world's biggest problem.
And now, the AI Mastery Week, brought to you by the Tech Hut in partnership with Lentex. The theme, from curious to confidence.
Back to you, Val.
Okay, thank you so much for that video. Emmanuel is the CEO and founder of Tech Hut, and the organization, he has partnered with Lentex, for those who do not know, to have this amazing Mastery Week with AI. So welcome everybody, and I'd like to welcome Gishogu. Let's just dive right into the main agenda. So Gishogu will take us through AI automation and prompt engineering. So Gishogu, the floor is yours.
Hello Val, hello Emmanuel. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present. Just give me a minute so that I can share my screen. Okay.
Yeah, so as Gishogu sets up, maybe we can have a reaction to this today's class. Just type it in the chat, or if you can hear me, just react. Thumbs up. Nice. Sydney, nice. Really nice to see you. Nice to see you, Dennis. Wow, nice. Bruce, welcome everyone.
Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you.
Yes, we can hear you, Gishogu.
Okay, thank you. So let me share my screen, and is it in full screen? Can you see it in full screen?
Yes.
Okay, nice. So let's start with prompt engineering, and prompt engineering right now is something new and emerging, but in future years to come, prompt engineering will be a very core concept, especially to AI creatives. So what is prompt engineering? So prompt engineering is the skill of writing clear and effective instructions, which we call prompts, for an AI to get a desired outcome. So I know many of us have used AI, and some of us have been frustrated by results, and others have been able to experience the good side of it, and they praise it, and all others feel like it's not very, very credible. And the reason as to why is they do not understand the core concept of prompt engineering. And think of it as a language. Like, for example, we have Swahili, we have English. For AI, we have something called prompt engineering. Just like, for example, developers will use code to be able to help a machine understand what is happening. It's the same case for AI. Because it works in a different step, we use prompt engineering so that we can be able to communicate with AI. So why prompt engineering in the first place? So the best example and the most used example is for content creation and marketing. So you've seen many creatives, and you've seen creatives complain. Some creatives are using advanced methods of improving their content. Let's say, for example, they do not have editors, or they want to generate continuous content, or they want to generate ads. So prompt engineering is what they use to create the content in a desired form. Number two is business and strategy, and this is whereby most of us have asked AI, like, what do I do? Help me create this plan. What comes about? So AI can spearhead your business and strategy, and prompt engineering is what gives you the right strategy for your business. Number three, productivity and learning. I'm sure many of us have used the notion of teach me this form as if I am an 8th grade student, or explain to me this concept in a simple way. So yeah, so that explain this concept as if I'm an 8th grade student is actually prompt engineering. And so AI systems also use prompt engineering to be able to run, and which we will do a simple example on. And also image and art generation, whereby artists use AI to create stuff such as NFTs, or even create artistic forms to express their nature. So there's the 5 pillars of prompt engineering, or let's call it the 5 concepts of prompt engineering. Number one, there's the context, which is in simple terms we refer to as the role. Number two is the request, which is the action you expect the AI to take. Number three is the audience, and this is what result you expect to benefit, the type of people you expect to benefit, whether it's students, whether it's professional, whether the who is the audience that's going to receive that result. Number four is fine-tuning and constraints, or what we call rules. And like, for example, most of you have ever when maybe writing essays or doing your assignments, you've used the example of help me write an essay with a minimum of 300 words. So that is fine-tuning itself. And number five, tone, and this is the desirable output that you expect the AI to create. So a simple mnemonic to remember this is the word craft. So let's start with context. What is the context? Is what is the role of the AI? So this is when you give the AI an identity of what it is, or what role it should play, and the situation that the AI is going to perform. So a very good example in this is when you say, when you tell AI, assume that you are a teacher in AI, explain this and this and this. So that number one, you've given the AI identity, and you've created a situation in which you can get your desirable outcome. Number two is the request. What is the action needed for the AI? So the request is basically is the intention. You want the intention of the AI, or the intention of the prompt, to give you the desirable outcome. And now, one rule about the request is you must be exact, otherwise you will get a very vague response. Number three is the audience, and the audience is who the response is for, which you've discussed is the response for number one, when you're doing your assignment, is the response for your teachers, or let's say, for example, you want to build a content strategy, is the response for a certain organization. Number three, request. These are the rules and the limitations. And number 5 is the tone, which is the desired response. So let's look at the difference between using craft. Yeah, I think this one was supposed to be fine-tuning, sorry, not request, the fine-tuning. So let's look at the difference between a good prompt and a bad prompt. So a bad prompt is very vague, as you can see, right about marketing. And we can test this example. So let's look at this one. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go to ChatGPT, or no, let's use this Grok model, which will give us more response and context. So I'll tell Grok to write about marketing, and what it will do basically is just give me the best answer it can give, or the response it can give. So it's given me the components, which is good. It has given me the customer relationship management, which is good, but it just given me a basic concept that I cannot really apply, and which is naturally confusing. So let's move to what a good prompt looks like. So number 1, we need to give the AI the identity. So this is the first one, the context. So you are a marketing expert. Let me just copy this whole thing. So you are a marketing expert creating content for a small business blog. Write a short blog post explaining the role of 7 in marketing, and the audience is a small business owners who are new to marketing, and you can use a bullet list for the main points. The constraints are the post should be under 300 words, include a simple relatable example, and the tone should be encouraging and easy to understand. So as you can see, we have our fine-tuned answer, which is, as a small business owner, getting your brand noticed can be overwhelming. Don't worry, the rule of 7 is a simple marketing principle to help you, etc, etc. So you can also see it's given us more examples, and it has given us an example that we can use. For example, imagine you run a pet grooming business, you post cute dogs on Instagram and send a discount email put up on a flyer on a local vet. After seeing the brand multiple times, a pet owner feels confident booking and grooming a session. So you see, you can see the difference between this answer and this answer. Number 1, this answer is as short as we wanted to, just a simple information. Number 3, it's gone deeper, and it's explained to us with examples and also words of encouragement. Start small. So in this case, we are going to use it, let's say, for example, to create a video advert or a marketing advert, etc. So where were we? So let me go back to the presentation. So the reason why this prompt was not effective in the first place is it was too vague and generalized. So in other words, this prompt was based on the AI's knowledge base of more than 1 million types of marketing information. So the AI is trained on a lot of data, so it will just give a very general answer. But now this prompt is good because number 1, the AI understands that it's a marketing expert, and the AI understands the situation is a small business blog. Also, the request is a short blog post examining the role of 7 in marketing. A simple request, but also the audience it understands the audience, those owners who are new to marketing. As you can see, it also gave an example to help the ones new to marketing to understand. and it also gave a bulleted list for the main points. So there's a fine tuning. I'm sure it was less than 300 words, and the tone was encouraging and easy to understand. So that's just a basic understanding of the 5 pillars, but there are techniques that not only combine the 5 pillars but also help us improve our prompt ideas and generation. And the first technique that is the most used and the most effective is negative prompt. So a negative prompt is basically a prompt, but in this prompt you tell the AI what not to do. For example, let's create a prompt and add the negative prompt in the instance. So let's say start from you are photography. No, you are a photographer. Oh no. Let's use you are an art. Yeah, you are an art expert for fashion presentation. So number one, you've given the AI the context, right? So what else should we give? Anyone? Okay. The next, okay, let me just help you remember. So the next one we should give is the request. So the request for this one is what we want the AI to do. And it can be a simple request as generate, our request is going to be generate an artistic example. Yeah, no, generate an artistic fashion design. So that is our request, but this request is too vague, so we need to expand a bit and say for modern aesthetic suits. And finally, so we have our response, and the next we need is the action, right? Not the action really, the audience, I mean. So the next what we need is an audience, and the audience for the fashion expo will be, let's even add fashion expo presentation. So the audience we need is the group that is going to experience the fashion expo. So we're going to put it as, to make this eligible, there's going to be judges that are going to be attending the fashion expo. So we'll add the targeted audience are the judges, or you can also use to impress the judges in the fashion expo who prefer modern and artistic fashion. Then we need to fine tune and say limit to summer fashion, and limit to fashion during the summer season. And what else are we left? So we have our constraints, we have our request, we have our, so what are we missing out? Just a minute. So we have our context, we have a request, we have our audience, we have our request. Now we have our fine tuning, and finally we need the tone. So for the tone, this is what we require. So we'll say that the tone is, no, we don't even need to call it a tone. We can say the clothes, no, the fashion designed should be the fashion the fashion presentation designed should be visually appealing and exciting, no, and vibrant colors and vibrant use of color. So that is just an example of a clean prompt, and as you can see, this is the result that is given. So I want you to look at this result and compare it with this other generation that we'll use based on a vague prompt. So we'll use generate inspiration, generate an image as inspiration for Fashion Expo. Okay, so back to negative prompts. So this is the first prompt, and now we need to see what we do not want is as part of the presentation. So maybe we've noticed that there's a lot of flowers, or there's the nature cinematic view, and I think it's done. Yeah, look at the difference between this image and look at the difference between this image. So this is the quality of this is an expression of the quality of the prompt, but I've noticed that it's on a garden and I do not want the AI to give me images from a garden perspective. So this is where the negative prompt comes in. We're going to take this exact same prompt and we're going to look at what the AI did. So first of all, the AI is exactly an expert as we had hoped for, and it generated an artistic fashion design for aesthetic suits. Okay, so it was to impress the judges. That's okay, and it should be visually appealing and vibrant use of color. So we're going to have to change the tone, and the tone is the tone we need is a white background. So we will say do not use a natural background. Instead use a plain background. Nice. So as you can see, we have our clothes, but also we've noticed that there's a problem that has emerged. It has also given us other people who are fashionably dressed, which is okay, but also we need to look at what is it that is working. So we're okay with this one because it's a plain background, but also for the plain background, we also have individuals added. So does anyone know why we have individuals added? or any idea? Okay, so the reason why we have individuals added is because we spoke of a plain background, which we were a bit vague on it. And also, it's supposed to impress the judges, and the judges will be impressed by a huge number. Just a minute, I think. Can you hear any noise from my end?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. So where were we? So we were supposed to finalize. No. Yeah. So we were not clear about the background that we're using. So for the plain background, it was taken as if for the background that for the studio like background, for the fashion expo background. So what we just need to do is we need to modernize the script and said plain background, let's say use a natural background, use a plain, do not use garden for the background, use let's say for example use a clean white background. Okay, so it has given us a better outlook compared to this one, and now we have a better fashion expo image. And the first prompt was vague, but at least this one we can see that it looks like something the judges will admire. So let's go back to the next step and look at what we're supposed to do. And the next one is the chain by thought. We'll go back to that later. The role playing, we've already covered that, and where the role is in a benchmark of judges. And okay, let's start with the haiku principles. So the haiku principle is basically giving limitations. For example, the way we did with the 300 words. So the haiku principle is a principle that is used to give an AI a limit on its creativity. So what we have with AI is something called temperature. What we call creativity in our terms is the AI temperature. So in this case, we can apply the haiku background, the haiku example by saying, by telling the AI to limit with the brand colors. So we can say the fashion presentation design should be visually appealing and vibrant use of colors. Vibrant use of the orange and blue colors. So by limiting to these two colors, the haiku principle will make sure that we don't get any extra colors that are not in our context. Now, the haiku principle can also be used in cases of such as, let's say, for example, you're working with, let's say, which brand? Let's say you're working with a brand that has, that focuses on technology, right? And so the haiku principle is you cannot use, let's say, for example, when you're using a network advert, you cannot use the Safaricom. You cannot use the Safaricom color if you're working with Telcom. So you have to limit it. Let's say you're working for Airtel, you have to limit it to the red colorization. And this is what we've done. So the haiku principle can also be based on the number of prompts, the quality and texture. Let's say, for example, in a case of you want to generate utensils in a kitchen, you have to limit it to maybe, let's say, a plate and a cup. And this gives the eye a better understanding of the context you're trying to create. And what else do we have? We have the multiple mirrors. So the multiple mirrors is you create more than one perspective for the prompt. And this is going to be helpful if you want to let's say divide the understanding, or divide the workload of the AI to share its different results. So when AI is generating content or generating anything, AI will base it on general results, and so that general result will be decided by the AI. So in this case, we are looking at a photographer's perspective, right? It's a photographer who took this image, but there's also other perspectives to be considered. For example, apart from the, let's give it a perspective. Okay, this will come up to generate an to impress judges. Okay, now the first perspective we have is the judges who are going to be impressed, right? Now let's also look at the audience. The crowd. The judges, let's call it investors. What do you call the judges, attendees? So the first perspective we're going to press is the judges. The next one is the attendees, and the final one we can do maybe like a climate protection organization. Climate protection organization. All right. So you've noticed that the quality of the prompt has improved because we've created a perspective based on. So the AI will favor the perspective of, number one, the judges. Number two, it will favor the perspective of attendees and the climate protection. So I don't know why it chose this one specific for the climate protection. Maybe we can add for colorblind. Let's use colorblind for colorblind audience. Nice. So you can see the increase in patterns. So for example, if you're part of the audience and you're colorblind, you would have seen this, you would have received an immersive experience because of the different colors used. So, and what they focused on is the pattern formation. So as much as you're colorblind, the patterns will seem attractive even to a colorblind person in the audience. And that is what is called creating different perspectives for the AI. So the chain of thought is what I wanted to discuss last, because this is what we've done in all these prompts. So the chain of thought is you do not expect the perfect result within one prompt. So a chain of thought example is by is creating a step-by-step process for the AI to improve itself. Now, there is the prompt to effect ratio, whereby a large text prompt will give a low quality output, but a small text prompt will also give a high quality output but little texture. For example, let's look at this. This one is a small prompt. It's a high quality output, but with little texture or context of what we really want. So instead, we introduce a chain of thought system. A chain of thought system is you create a step-by-step process of improving the previous prompt. So let's say, for example, this one, we'll say now you are an AI. No, you are. What was the prompt in this one? You are an expert for fashion expo presentation. And let's just use the whole prompt for the okay. So finally, we have our first chain of thought. So the AI has given us this result. So we want the next result to be better, but that was our primary result. So what we need to do is we need to go back to the steps that we used. For example, the context, the steps we used for the audience, for the tone and everything. So what we need to do is we need to improve from what we gave, and that is the chain of that process. So for example, you notice that we focus it on orange and blue colors, and we can add a chain of thought by telling the AI to make it futuristic in nature. And finally, we'll say that let the clothes be of a nanotech product. Okay, so basically this is the last prompt we have, and as you can see, we've moved from this one and we used this one as per the best prompt. Then we gave it a futuristic outlook, and eventually not only the futuristic, but we have nanotech clothes which look a bit let's say inspiring. So what we've done is we've created the first chain of thought by reducing the extent of prompt generation. So if you ask the AI to do 10 things at once, it will give you one thing which is not so good, or that doesn't really blend perfectly. For example, let's generate a long prompt, and as an example to show you. So make this 500 word prompt. So while it's generating, so we've covered the negative prompt, the chain of thought, the role playing, which is the AI, giving the AI a certain role, the haiku principle, which is reducing the what is it called? reducing the temperature by narrowing down to a specific concept and giving more than one perspective so that the AI can be able to give a perfect result. So I think by now our prompt should be ready. Yeah. So we have our 500 word prompt. So let's paste this prompt and look at the result. Well, I think I should make it 1,000 word prompt. So I think this one didn't really generate. Okay, you can see that the AI was not so creative in generating for visual style photo. It gave a basic sense of fashion, but at least it's done a good job in this one. But most of it is basic. So I want us to increase and at least we see how the damage it does to have a really large prompt. Now, most people make this mistake, especially during vibe coding, whereby they give a very large and detailed prompt, and eventually they expect that the app they vibe coded to be of a good result, and it doesn't really work like that. The best way to vibe code in general is by a step-by-step process. Yeah, so let's look at this result. This result is a very good example. So we've used 1,000 words, and as you can see, it has generated this result. And the first complaint we can have is number one, the fashion of the trouser is a bit short, and also the hand design and the coloring is a bit off. As you can see, even you can tell from the hand that the image just looks a bit off. It doesn't look really genuine. At least it's done a better job in this one, but the result is not as refined as when we had this specific prompt. Like you can tell this AI took time in the details and improving. Yeah, you can tell the AI actually took time in the details in this one. Even if you look at the hand structure, just a minute. Yeah, even if you look at the hand structure, it's improved in every sense. You can even tell from the tonation, even the quality of clothes and the type of fashion used. But in this case, whereby we had 1,000 words, we eventually got a result that doesn't really look very fashionable. Even the background itself looks a bit pale. So yeah, so that marks the end of the prompt engineering, but there are some mistakes that most people make, which I'd like to talk about. And number one is the vague prompt. And the vague prompt is when you're using AI and you tell AI like do it better, make it better, or find the problem, or why is this not working. That's a vague prompt. If you don't clearly define the prompt, you get a bad result and one and done. So the one and done basically means that you just decide to have one prompt to finish your whole work and your whole job. So you need to be able to work by refining from the previous results, just like we've done with the Grok. You start from one prompt and you build from it. Number three is a generic template, which basically means that because one prompt worked, you use it for every single result. No, not really. You should be able to customize a prompt based on different results, and I'll show you why. And so the long prompt is that the length matters. The length really does not matter at all. What matters is the systematic approach that you've used, especially whether you used the techniques of chain of thought, multiple mirrors, and negative prompt. But it's not the length of the prompt. It's easier to get a better result if you're working with one single prompt and building on it. So there's from Google Labs, there's a feature called say what you see. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Now, this is a very good platform for practicing. And where is it? Yeah. So say what you see basically.
Hi, can you guys hear Gishogu, or is it just me who lost him?
I also am not getting him clearly. He has left.
Okay. So, let's give him some time. Joan, kindly mute. Perfect. So let's give Gishogu some time to set up his network. I think Val, you can nudge him. But meanwhile, first take on prompt engineering. Can I get a few reactions from the audience? Mnonaje, does craft improve your prompting or not? Which one will you use the most? Which technique amazes you the most of those that Gishogu has shared? Maybe you can have a random person answer. Mukiri, can you hear me? Okay, I think Mukiri can't hear me, so let's go with Joan. Joan, what do you think about the techniques Gishogu has shared? And which one will you?
I joined in a bit late, but one thing that I've heard from him that was a take home for me was the fact that prompting the AI with too much is one of the mistakes that we make. And like there has to be a fine balance to it, because even when we hadn't mentioned about color blinding or the exact audience we have, we didn't have a good result. But I think I also have a problem with vibe coding where I tend to over prompt and get very poor results. So that for me was a take home. I joined a bit late, but Emmanuel was requesting, I don't know if we could get access to video recordings also.
Yes. The recording will be shared after this, so be assured of that. Gishogu, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Perfect. Tumepotea katikati ya class bana. It's like a teacher running away in the middle of class.
Pole wifi imefanya ile kitu. So but so I think iko sawa. So this what you see is basically a prompt practicing page whereby it gives you an image and you use it to practice or generate your prompt. So for example, let's skip this one. Yeah. So for example, we're supposed to create this one from a prompt. So I won't design the prompt because of time, because it will take time, but you just follow the 5 principles and you should be able to create this prompt, even not the exact prompt, but almost a similar prompt. But yeah, so if you need the link, it's Say What You See by Google, and yeah, that should be able to help. So are there any questions?
Yeah, Gishogu, there are questions in the chat, and I personally asked if you've ever experienced a prompt failure, or any prompt failure. You prompted, it gave you funny output, or was AI angry? Something like that. That was my question.
Any other question? Okay, so yes,
just a minute. Onesimus asked if you could explain jailbreaks in AI.
Jailbreaking AI. Okay. Okay. So I was also seeing a question: does this prompt technique apply to all fields, or do you have to choose a specific aspect based on your field and how you can best optimize your outputs? Okay, so I'll first of all start with the first answer, and the first answer is yes. There have been times before I actually studied prompt engineering, and I was not only in vibe coding but also code generation. I was able to experience challenges that were I was also experienced the challenge of when AI makes a mistake, the AI will never recognize that the mistake is its own mistake. So instead, what it does is it solves your request more than it solves its mistake. So if you tell an AI to generate a cowboy, it will generate let's say it generates a bull, but a calf version of a bull. So if you tell the AI to not that bull, something else, instead what the AI will do, it will just instead generate a face like a face like boy. I mean a human boy, the head version, but the other body part is the bull. So that's the same case scenario. When you tell AI to fix a code that it has generated, the AI will assume that the mistake is not its own code, but instead will look at your code and find mistakes or probable reasons. And that's the biggest challenge when it comes also to vibe coding, whereby many people are able to build software UIs, but when it comes to integrating the backend with AI, they're never able to do it perfectly. And also we've had stories about people who are being fired because of vibe coding and the mistakes that AI does, such as using centering a div in the backend, and also generating code that can easily be broken into. So does that answer the first question? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, nice. So yeah, Javan, I've noticed that you've raised your hand. I'll get back to you. So There was a second question about the jailbreak. I don't know whether it's an ethical topic at this time, because the jailbreak system has been I think most people manipulate AI to do the most undesirable outcomes. But I'd say the best thing I can give about jailbreak in an ethical concept, because I wouldn't want to start something else, is the fact that jailbreak only works because of a situational case, whereby you give an AI a situation that they believe in, and the situation that you give AI is very independent, such that the AI cannot be able to tell what you're saying or what you actually really want. Let's say, for example, I want answers to my quiz, and AI won't give me the answers. So if I create a situational question such as, I want to know how my students are cheating in this exam, help me figure out the answers if a student was cheating in these exams. That's that case scenario example. The AI will give the answer that it was not supposed to give. Or you can just tell AI, so that I can be able to identify that these answers are AI generated, answer these questions from this quiz, so that I can be able to tell that this is AI generated. What they call it is reverse engineering, whereby you reverse engineer the ethical approaches to AI. But jailbreak is only something of the present. In, let's say, a year or two to come, jailbreak will no longer exist. It will be very difficult to jailbreak an AI, because a lot of mechanisms are being put in place. Now, there was the third question. Does this prompt technique apply to all fields? Also, thank you for the comment, Lennox. The five core principles, they can work, but for the field that you're using, at some point you really have to be specific. For example, let's say, for example, let's go back to this generation, and I wanted to generate this AI to have a sense of style, or a specific sense of style. All I'll just do is tell the AI to add a visual pan. And so let's say, for example, add a smart or visual pan. Yeah. So as you can see, for example, it was able to generate, like, because this suit is checked, it was able to generate like a checked output. But as you can see, there is a problem with the face. The face is a bit distorted, because it wasn't a good quality prompt. But as you can see, the AI is able to generate a certain sense of aspect. And that is what is used, for example, in different fields. Let's say, for example, you're designing a logo. You need the logo to be able to seem as if it's part of the logo. Now, if your logo is about animals, at least the logo should look like it's referencing an animal. For example, a shark, the logo should look as if it's like it should have like a fish-like aesthetic. So I'm not sure whether I answered your question, but yeah. So different kinds of use cases, you have to go an extra mile and find the specific prompts that are aligned to it. So the prompts that you use in logos, they cannot be able to work in vibe coding, or if you're using a prompt in vibe coding, it might give you the best vibe coding output, but when it comes back to image generation, it will be a bit distorted. So as long as you work with the 5 core principles, you can be able to advance from there. And so back to Javan, you had a question. Hello, Javan.
Hello, Gishogu. Yes.
Javan had a question. Or?
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll move on to the next one. Well, maybe Javan, you can type on the text box. So let's move to AI automations, and I'll try to make this a bit quick. So now, AI automation, these are technologies that can perform tasks and processes with minimal human intervention. For example, the fact that you can, when someone calls you and you want to decline the call, automatically your phone will give you messages to send, like, for example, in a meeting, I am busy. That's an automation. Another example of automation is clearly from this image, which is a machine. And automation, what they basically do is they reduce the processes that a human will do and make it simpler for them, faster and more amicable. So why do you use automations? Number one, they eliminate repetitive tasks. Number two, they streamline systems. Number three, they optimize business performance and they improve task accuracy. Now, the reason why automations are able to do all this as a collective is the fact that AI, number one, is very sensitive to the information it is given. Number two, the AI can be able to, with the right coding, with the right nodes, the AI can be able to do the human processes faster. But of course, there's the human quality part, whereby the AI can work as marketer for you. But at some level, a marketer with experience is better than the AI. So what AI does is it uses the data around to improve the system, but that doesn't mean that it can work on all human grounds. For example, an AI as a therapist will be something very difficult to work with because number one, an AI as a therapist, you need empathy, you know. And right now, for example, using AI to be able to come up with, let's say, for example, you're ill and you're using AI, that will actually be a negative. It will actually bring out a negative effect because of the fact that you being a doctor, you actually need to be able to have the experience and good eyesight and be able to understand that there's the medical part and there's the experience part. So that's why there are doctors who will just come and tell you, like, this is your problem, and there are doctors who will have to figure out what your problem is. So there's traditional automations which work on a pattern recognition system, and this now is for example, the end call, whereby you end call and it gives you a text. So it's a pattern recognition that this happens because this happens. So if this has happened, then most likely this should happen. You also see it maybe, for example, in I tried calling you messages. Where else do you see it? Anyone who can give an example? Yeah, even for example, the fingerprint mechanism, the sending of text messages from organization, the reminders, yeah, all these automations, these are traditional automations. And one traditional automation that is used is, for example, the hiring automation, which is many of us have struggled to get jobs because of that, because it doesn't really use AI. Just a minute, and I'll get back to you. Okay, where was I? So there's a pattern-based recognition, and this pattern-based is what is used in job hiring. So when a job wants to give you a specific job, you normally fill out a form or submit a form, and most of us lack jobs for that case because it only recognizes the patterns that are in a job description. Now, I'll give a very good illustration. This is not an AI automation, but it is an automation, and I'll show you the difference between an AI automation and an actual automation. So let me share this screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to create a simple automation that is used in job, for example, in the job market. So let's say,
Gishogu, your screen is visible.
oh, it's visible. Hello. Okay, thank you. So now there's this job automation that normally works, and most organizations use it to determine whether someone is a candidate or not. So we'll add a Gmail node. First of all, let's add an if node. And let's go to the Gmail node. And send a message. Okay, so this is what an automation looks like. This is a simple automation, not AI, not anything, and it's what most organizations used. And so this is what the form will look like. And let's say, for example, job title, secretary, and form title, job, job. So let's say your job title is secretary, and this one job title is an administration officer. Okay, so in this, if add condition, let's so let's execute this one. Send to Gishogu Kenya. Subject, job, message, accepted. Okay, so that should work now. So let's say, for example, there's a form you're supposed to submit, and you have your job title, let's say secretary. I made two by mistake. Okay, so what we'll do is, if the job title is equals to secretary, then it will send a message to the email that you have been accepted. If it is not, you will not be accepted. So let's cancel this one, and where is it? Let's get rid of this one. So let's start with executing this step. So the company is looking for a secretary. So if the job title is a secretary and submits, then that means that this one will be true, and it will send an email. Just a minute. Gmail account. Should work. Yeah. So it sent an email. So if we come to our Gmail account, okay, the Google Mail is taking time, but I should find an email. I should find an email that tells me my job has been. It will send an email that.
I think you use that dummy. I think you use that dummy email. Yeah, gishogukenya@gmail.com.
Oh yeah. Then I was checking the wrong email. Yeah. So let me share my screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see anytime.
Okay, not that one. Stop sharing. Share screen. The window. Yes. So as you can see, I've gotten an email saying that I've been accepted. And you can clearly see that it was sent just a few minutes ago that I've been accepted. So that is called an automation. And it's a simple automation that most organizations used, most companies use, for example, receiving texts, etc. But this is not an AI automation. And most influencers, they normally preach that this is an AI automation. This is create this AI automation, but AI automations are different. So AI automations instead are intelligent systems. And what do I mean by intelligent system? For an AI automation to be an AI automation, it basically needs to be able to have adaptive intelligence. And that means that it can be able to cater for different situations. That's number one. Number two, there's the variable handling of tasks, whereby this one, if it works, it's a yes or no. But the AI will be able to give a no, and in a no scenario, and the AI will be able to give a yes in a yes scenario. So also it can be used to solve problems that a normal human being should be capable of solving. And so I want us to turn this automation, regular automation, into an AI automation. So to turn it into an AI automation, all I require is a simple aspect of adding an AI agent into the system. So the software I'm using is N8N, if that's what you wish to know. So we'll keep everything as it is, but we'll add something called an agent tool. So this agent tool will be able to connect us to the AI and take the message. So what is the first thing that we need to do? Number one, it's a prompt. We look at what was the concept of the prompt that we said. Number one, we need to have a context. So we have to say that you are, first of all, let's just add this one for me, and we'll add a system message. Okay, there's a difference between the prompt, which is the user message, and the system message is this one. This part of the dashboard is the user dashboard, whereby it shows the input. This one is the system dashboard, and this one is the output dashboard. So these three have different uses. For example, this one takes the data that's coming in and translates it into a form that can be automated. This part is where the automation happens, and this part is where what happens in general. So let's say you are a professional HR assistant that delivers messages, delivers emails, writes emails to the job applicants. Okay, so number one, we have the context. What else do we need? We need to make the request, right? So you are required to check the job title of the applicant. So applicant job title. Now, if the job title is a secretary, send them an encouraging and welcoming message. What else do we need? Now, if they aren't a secretary, send them, let's change this to email, send them a polite rejection email. Okay, so we have our first, number one, we have the context, we have the response. Now we need the action we've also given. So what else do we need? We need to fine tune, right? So the email will be professional. So make sure you are empathetic and at least use 300 words to give more detail. The tone we'll set it. The tone we'll set it to empathetic, enthusiastic, and corporate, professional. Okay, that's all we need. But first, before we can use this AI agent, there's the chat model that we'll need to select. So there's a list of chat models you can use, but I prefer to use the OpenAI chat model. So this is, I'll use the GPT-4 mini because also Azure provides an AI chat model. And that is all. So the tool, in this case, let's say, for example, you want to add another workflow, or let's say, for example, an MCP, which is a server for AI functions. You can add a database, for example. You can add MongoDB, Supabase, Vector. So tools are tools that the AI uses. But for this one, we'll add, for the purpose of learning, we'll just add a think tool. Okay, use this tool to draft a comprehensive and professional. Now, considering that we have this AI agent, we no longer need this one. Because we have this now AI agent and it's going to do the work for us, because we don't need an if. The AI agent is the one to decide what is going to happen. So for the message this time, I'll set it to the right one, Gishogu Masharia@gmail.com. And let's run this node. Is something with the printer? I don't know what's up. Let's just use another one.
The Gmail, you didn't write it well.
It's okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you've written it too.
Thank you. So let's try again. Who corrected me? Thank you for paying attention.
Yeah.
That's really good. This is the problem. GPT-4. It was a typing. Now it should work. Yeah. As you can see, it went to the Azure OpenAI chat model. This one powered the AI agent by giving the results, and the email has been drafted. If you need further modifications, let me know. And here's the think tool subject. Welcome to the team. The applicant, I hope this email finds you well and in great spirits. So what we'll need is the output from the think tool, right? But now we have a problem. The output it has been given is from the AI agent, right? So let me do a proper zoom. So the output that have been given is from the AI agent, but the think tool is what did the work to verify. And that's because we were vague. We asked the think tool to verify. So what we need to do is actually it's drafted. So use the tool to confirm if the email is as needed. So let's execute this step. And let's look at the output. Yeah. Now, at least now we have a proper output. So the email for the applicant with the job title of secretary has been kept successfully drafted. Here it is. Okay, so we can modify this output later, but for now, let's work with what we have. And that will be the other part of the prompt engineering. Okay, let's execute the step. So if we come to our inbox, and where is it? I want to share the screen. Okay, so back to where we are. So you can see that apart from this part, whereby you can just tell the AI to make it ready for direct sending, you find that there's the applicant name at this message finds you. I want to extend my warmest congratulations to you on your application. We appreciate the time and effort. We are pleased to move forward in the evaluation process. As a secretary, you play a vital role in the organization, etc., etc. So this one can be removed, but yeah, basically we've already had our first automation whereby it's a welcome, right? And now let's look at a situation whereby you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Yes. So let's look at a situation whereby we have another one. Let's say, for example, we have where is it? Okay, execute workflow. Nice. Let's say we have doctor. Nice. So next the AI agent will read, give the response, and we should find our response sent. Yeah. You see, I have drafted a polite rejection email. Thank you for your applicant. Thank you for your interest in joining the company. We appreciate the time you have invested. Yeah, etc., etc. So we finally have our last email, and that is what we call an AI automation, whereby you develop a system that has adaptive intelligence, can handle a variable range of tasks, and has creative problem solving. Now, The type of automations are: number one, content automation, whereby people create TikToks, YouTube, and it's the popular one called the faceless YouTube automations. Now there's the code automations, whereby we use AI to write code, or you create automation just with code. For example, I'm using the NA10 platform. Others can create it with code. We have the voice automations. For example, in this case we have this popular one called VAPI. And the VAPI automation basically is they provide the voice agents. We can do that tutorial. And we also have 11 labs. We have different automations for voice. So what voice automations technically do is they give you a sense of as if you're speaking to a person or you're speaking to a human being. So there was an already made assistant that I created, and yeah, as you can see, I'm using the same format. You have there's the identity, there's the style, there's the use function, So this is a different prompt, but you can see already that we use the basic concepts that you need. So let's say, hey, can I have a moment of your time? Now let's publish the changes, and yeah. Yes. Just a minute. Yes.
I think it's because you're using the microphone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're using the microphone, so it can't sense right now.
Oh, okay. Then I guess that's why. Thank you for that. But I think there should be something that enables me to be able to. Let me try the last time. I think you should be able to sense regardless of the situation.
Also, Gishogu, if you can try to share the tab together with your audio so that you can hear the AI's response.
Yes. Yeah, for some reason it's not working. Then it must be the microphone. Yeah, so that is VAPI. I wish there's a way I could demonstrate, but there's a problem with the microphone. But it's a voice agent that basically cold calls. And the reason why I like VAPI is because they offer you free 8 credits, and you can even check the dashboard. And in the dashboard, you can see that I've made over 20 calls. Actually, 33 number of calls without ever paying. So that's why it's very effective. And the average cost per call is $0.5 in case you're out of credits. So 1 credit, I think, can last for about 5 calls. And I wish that illustration would work, because it would have been a very effective illustration. So let's go back to the list. Where was I? Yeah, so let's go back to the list, and now then we have visual automations. These are automations that are happening in real time. For example, there's this episode in Netflix called Black Mirror, whereby you select something, there's what is it called, this Black Mirror episode, whereby you choose your next scene to watch just by selecting an option, whereby you control the characters with your remote. Can anyone remember it? Okay, I guess not many have experienced that. There is data automation whereby it can be used for forex trading, and this is what we call bots. So bots are this you create they figure out the rising or the lowering of stocks, or maybe the currencies, or maybe they look at the market position and they make decisions for you. So those bots are what we call they are called data automations. They use data to make automations. Now there's the communication automation, and which basically what we've used is you use AI to communicate, and that's the kind of communication that is given in these emails that are hyper personalized, or for example ads that are personalized to you. So these automations find you ads that are targeted to help you, assist you. Number 7, there's the workflow automations, and this is a very good example of a workflow automation. Let me show you an example. Okay, so when we're speaking about workflow automations, this is what we call a workflow, whereby, so for example, this is a cold email system that automates other workflows. So all these processes, they happen concurrently. Let me even zoom in just a minute. So this is one process of the many processes that happen in these automations. So this is a very good example of a workflow automation, whereby as long as a certain work is being done, other processes follow in the back end. And where workflows automations are used, for example, it's on once a task is completed, an email is sent and to the respective body, or once you make a complaint, after the customer care service has communicated to you, it moves on to the next step and maybe sends a signal and confirms whether a work has been completed. So when you complete a task, it moves on to the next, to the next, to the next. So that's called a workflow automation. And we have decision automation, whereby AI makes decisions for you. So also you can use AI to make decisions. So I'll show you an example of this decision automation. Let me share the entire screen. So can you see my screen? I haven't shared it yet. Okay, now can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So we can come to this one, and you can call this decision automation, whereby you can use AI to make decisions for you. So for example, I can ask the AI, for example, what should I do tomorrow morning? So what kind of activities or plans are looking for tomorrow? I think about work, personal errands. Yes. Then let me select spend time with family. You see, so it helps me make a decision as we move on. And by the end of the questions, I should have at least the final complete. So I'll say add this to my calendar for tomorrow at 12 p.m. So your breakfast, burrito preparation, and family bonding time is scheduled tomorrow. Let me know if you need any assistance. So I've used AI to make a decision on what I'm going to do tomorrow, but this is just for illustration purposes. So where is it? I should see something around here. Today is July 2nd. Yeah. As you can see, breakfast, burrito preparation, and family bonding. So what basically has happened is the AI there isn't built to help me make decisions on what happens next, what I can do, but this is just a brief explanation. But companies will need such AI to be able to make decisions for, let's say, for example, their next stock to trade, or maybe the next strategy, the next plan. So you can personalize AIs for companies to be able to make decisions that can be used for day-to-day life processes. So I've summarized a few examples for content automations. There is social media content, product description, email campaigns, video scripts, podcasts, and all these tutorials can be found on how you can make content with AI automations. Personally, I prefer the one that I've showed you in 8N. And there's the code automations, whereby the developers use AI to generate code to detect bugs, for documentation of code, for testing and quality assurance. And a very good example you've seen is the Gemini CLI, or the cloud code. And there's the voice automation, like for the illustration I was doing. There's the text to speech, there's the voice cloning, audio transcription. There is data automations, whereby data is collected, there is pattern analysis, report is created, predictive modeling and forecasting. So everything to do with data that is automated, and communication, just like the automation we've done. And also the workflow automations. So now the smart framework for you to create automations for yourself or a business. The first thing you need to know is whether it's specific. For example, if a business comes to you and tells you that they want an automations or an AI agent or an AI system, it has to be specific to their niche. Just like mine was specific to my calendar, you need to create a system that's specific to the company itself. Number two, it should be measurable. The performance should be able to be graded. You cannot just create a system that is very, let's say, call it diverse. It has to be measurable. For example, how many emails can it send in a day? How many videos can it post in a week? How much can it do within a specific time frame? Number three, it has to be achievable. You cannot set unrealistic goals. For example, this automation that I did, this one you cannot call this an achievable goal. Why? Because it has errors, right? It has errors. It has not been very clear or definitive. It has not been personalized. So you cannot call this achievable. You cannot call this achievable. That is just a simple illustration. For it to be achievable, it means that you can work back and forth clearly without any errors, or without you having to lose your funds while making the AI. And number four, it is time bound. Whether it should be able to produce results within a specific time frame. For example, you cannot create an AI system that should work next month or next year. It has to be specific to a certain time that can be effective in the first place. For example, if you're making a content generation automation and you're going to create content with the AI, and you're going to use AI to come up with content ideas to bridge the gap between you and content. Now, if you're using trends, there's no way you can use trends that worked in 2021 and expect the AI to perform with the trends that are not working in the right time. So also that different AIs work for different times. For example, Grok is the best when it comes to the latest times, and I think is it Gemini, and it works in real time. That's the kind of AI you'd use for your time-bound content or Starville AI. Now, there's the 4 quadrants of automation potential, and the 4 quadrants can be divided by number 1, high impact plus easy to automate. Number 1, for example, a customer care call agent, that it has an high impact and it's easy to automate. That means that companies need it and it's not complex. That means you have to use little resources to achieve it, and it is needed in everyday time. Let's say, for example, a debt collection system automation. What else? Balance reminder system, or even a subscription reminder system. Number 2, there is high impact plus hard to automate. These are used for strategic projects. For example, let's say, for example, you're tallying votes, an automation that just counts votes by itself. That's a high impact, but also a very hard one to automate. So these are for projects that require a long route plan and also require a lot of resources to be able to start and maintain. There's the low impact plus easy to automate. These are tools that you can create for yourself. Like, for example, the one that I created for my own Telegram bot. So that is low impact, but it's also easy to automate. They just make your work easier, but nobody wants to buy them. Nobody will buy them unless you can be able to help their work easier, to make their work easier. And now number 4, there's the low impact plus hard to automate. Those ones you should avoid. For example, imagine automating a system that creates, what does it do? Just searches stuff for you, or does search engine optimization. No, not search engine optimization, but does browser search for you and records your browser data. That's low impact. Not many people want an AI that can search, they can type on Google. You know, if it's easier to type on Google than even to it's easier to type on Google than to work with AI. People will just type on Google. So that's a low impact. But still, at the same time, automating a live browser or a real-time browser automation, it's very hard. So that's how you cancel and you decide that you cannot work within this time gap of the AI. Yeah, and I'm done. So I'm sorry for taking a lot of your time. But yeah, there was a lot to discuss and little time to make. But I really hope that you've been able to enjoy the lesson and you've been able to grab a lot of concepts. So if you have any question, especially in regards to how you can make revenue, or how you can, or what tricks do they use, you can ask. So are there any questions you feel?
Hello?
If you have any questions. We're giving 5 minutes.
Okay, so what's questions? Oh, okay. Sorry, Valerie. Okay, sorry for interrupting you. I got carried away. What's the pricing for Vapi? The Vapi pricing is basically, okay, let's say if you're you get $10 worth of credits every month. So that means that, yeah, unless you're doing like, you're calling like a lot of people at once, that's enough for practice, or maybe like slight calling. But now there's charges that come for when you want to use the AI to do like a lot of work. And I think it goes for, I think, is it $0.6 per minute? Let me see. So right now we've used 0.445 minutes. How much is that equated to? Oh, and also the benefit with VAPI is if you're an organization or an agency, you'll get you'll get $500 of worth of credit, $1,000 worth of credits. But I want to see how much is the pricing. Okay, you'll just check it out. But I think they offer $0.06 per minute. So that's like 60 cents of worth a dollar for every minute you use. And that is extra the $10 credit that they give. Okay, any other question? But if you have you're financially well versed and you need quality AI, I will recommend you use 11 Labs. It's the best for voices. It has every single voice that you need, and all you need is just to connect it to Twilio accounts. For those who don't know Twilio, Twilio is a number that they offer. They offer free numbers to be used for online communication, for bots, etc. So if you tie an AI agent to Twilio, you basically have an AI agent that you can call, and can call clients, can inquire information. Even as a customer service agent, can be able to tell you the complaints that the customers have in form of an email. Okay, Patrick, if a company approaches you to automate something for them and you're using NA10 locally, how do you get your automation to the public? Okay, very good question. Number one, if a company approaches you to automate something for them, number one, listen to the company very clearly on what they want. Listen, like you need to break down the information you're being given very clearly. Ask them every single question they need. Because automation for a company, I'd recommend even paying for NA10 rather than hosting locally. Because you imagine telling a company that you need to give me your credentials or you need to set up a Google for Business account, and maybe it's a small company. For example, maybe it's like a driving school and you're telling them that they need to open up a Google for Business account. You need to maybe they have to pay for installments. So at some point, NA10 does have its advantages if you pay for it. But I'd say that if you're using it locally and you also want it to be as good as the paid one, there's this website called Hostinger. And Hostinger, what it basically provides you with is a VPS to store NA10. Actually, yeah, NA10 VPS hosting. So Hostinger will give you for $4.99 per month. I'd suggest you take for the $7 one. You get to host NA10 and even Llama. So you can use NA10 and actually the benefit about self-hosting is number one, you get introduced to new community nodes, and also there is no limit to how many automations you have. But now the only limit that comes with it is the authorizations that you need to go through. Even using Meta from Facebook, it's going to complicate the whole process. And if you're working for a client, it might be more expensive. Actually self-hosting or VPS hosting than actually providing them the service, because what they look at is how much am I giving you and how much am I spending to use the resources that we're giving you. That's the question that comes from the client. So Rita, I am a complete beginner when it comes to AI automation, but I'm interested in pursuing it. What's a typical roadmap one can take in order to learn in a structured way? And are there job opportunities for the same? Very good question. A typical roadmap will look like, first of all, you need to learn how to create automations without AI. Regular automations, that's number one. Automations that do not require AI to be powered. One, and that means like maybe text-based, SMS-based. They don't even have to work effectively, but they can work in the backend generally. Number two, then you need to understand what kinds of AI agents you're using or the different types of AI agents. Now, there's AI, like for example, ChatGPT is very good when it comes to instructions, but Gemini is very good when it comes to chat-based models. So there's also, actually the biggest challenge you'll have to face is the API cost and usage. Finding the right AIs to use while trying to save cost. For example, for those who use Perplexity, there's the Perplexity that charges you to come up with topics. The best one you can equate to Perplexity is called Tavily AI. And Tavily is like Perplexity, but of course it's not that dynamic as Perplexity, but it does give you good results, real-time results. And yeah, it offers you like, let's say how much of a credit. It offers you about 1,000 credits a month, and a credit is per request. So that so you need to learn how to create different systems without AI, and when you add AI into those systems, you need to learn how to use the right AI for the right system. If it's image generation, definitely it's going to be something like Grok or ChatGPT. If it's text to audio, it's going to be Gemini. And also you should learn to work with HTTP requests more than you work with nodes. So what I mean is, for example, let me show you an illustration that I was working on. So these HTTP requests are they provide the field where nodes cannot work. For example, I want to use Grok to image 1212, and we're going to use the prompt that we used before. This same prompt. So we're going to use this prompt in this node. So you'll come to realize that there is the API key, yes, but where is the prompt here? So you'll come to realize that there is no way that you can be able to generate an image. There's no way you can be able to generate an image without having to pay for ChatGPT when you're using NA10. But when you work with HTTP requests, and this is using the APIs directly, you can be able to do much more than just the limits that you're provided with. So let's download this data. Yeah, so as you can see, we've been able to create the same image with Grok from NA10. So this is how they make content for videos, content for like captions, videos, YouTube shorts, TikToks. So you can add stuff like VO3, etc. So once you learn to create systems that work without AI, then you create ones with AI. Now you need to learn to use the resources that are not popular but save you the right course, because they give you an opportunity to learn. And once you can learn how to use, like, let's say for example, you can learn how to use HTTP requests to use AI and use automations that are not in NA10, then I guess you can be able to, you can actually even market yourself. You can even self-employ by becoming a content creator. That's the best thing about NA10. And for the structure, I think it's best I provide a playlist. I think the best thing to do is to provide a playlist for that, and a playlist should be able to at least give you. We'll create a playlist from YouTube videos that is structured to teach you a lot about N8N. Then I'll send. So, are there any job opportunities for the same? For the job opportunities, I'd say number one, you can make apps. You can make apps. If you are, let's say, when you're not even a techie or deep in programming, with vibe coding, I believe you'll be taught about vibe coding. You can create apps that run on automations, and you can sell those apps to companies. Number two, you can create chatbots for WhatsApp, for menus, deliveries. So you can create chatbots that connect the customers or consumers to the businesses. Like, for example, you can also normally when you use Safaricom to call, like star 100 hash, or is it when you call 100 with Safaricom, you normally speak to a voice assistant called Zuri. You can make such voice assistants or voice agents that can help people complete their task. In fact, right now, there's technology to create even better voice agents than the Zuri you find in Safaricom. The other job opportunity is you can be able to sell systems to businesses. For example, there's the SEO systems for web creators. There's the content social media management system for corporate organizations that require a lot of marketing. There's the Forex automation system, for example, what you call bots. And you can also create systems that make organizations save time and reduce the workload. So if you, let's say, for example, I don't need a personal assistant if I have an automation that can write my emails. So there are many job opportunities, but for the employment industry to be employed as an automation expert, it's not really in Kenya. So maybe you'll work online or as a freelancer, but it's not yet in Kenya. It's something really new and gained popularity, I think, around last year. So you can be able to find gigs, but there's no specific one that you can get a job in Kenya unless you can work for a foreign organization. And you'll need to create a lot of projects and showcase them online in social media, etc. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So I think those are all the questions. For the roadmap, I'll create a playlist and send. It will be sent to your emails. Okay, Valerie, I think you can take over. Also, sorry, I'd like to apologize for the extra time taken. I'm really sorry. It's just that the practicals, they do consume a lot of time. And thank you for being patient enough.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Gishogu. Really appreciate the time, and I'm sure we've all learned something. Today I've learned so much on AI automation and the AI agents. That really has fascinated me. And I don't know about you guys. Do you think prompting is the new Google? Because everything we go to ChatGPT, every small thing is there. So maybe, who knows? So I don't know if anyone can volunteer to just give us a key takeaway from the session. You can just raise a hand, then we can read it with any key takeaway, however small it may be. Whatever you're gonna try and research on, what has fascinated you. Anybody?
They are not fascinated.
They are not fascinated.
Ama itaatu na majina.
I was fascinated by the AI stuff, the automation, and as the lady was asking the question, like, are there many job opportunities for the same, like Rita Mora? So I was thinking, instead of looking for job opportunities, maybe you could start automating things in your life, and maybe in future when you get better at it, you can now start looking for opportunities. Yeah, I really liked that automation bit, and I'm hoping to try it in my life, and I try automating some stuffs in my life before I start looking for opportunities. Yeah, cool stuff, really cool stuff. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Patrick. Especially, on the self-employment note, you can actually use AI automations to self-employ, and you can develop AI agents that solve the company-based decisions. For example, for maybe AI agent as an accountant, AI agent as a research assistant, AI agents. You can build those with any 10 workflows. There's also others called make.com, there's Flowise. So as long as you have an automation, you can make even automations for yourself and guarantee that you're self-employed. Thank you very much for that, Patrick.
Yeah, Cynthia also, thank you for your response, and I'm glad that you got something out of the session. So, Emmanuel, if you're around, maybe you can close this for us and tell them what to expect tomorrow.
Wow, wonderful. So just everyone staying for the whole 2 hours. Can you believe it has been 2 hours? Like specifically 2 hours and 11 minutes. That's amazing, man. That's amazing. Shogu, I think wewe unafaa kwenda kunywa maji sahii, mdomo imekauka.
Hey, it was not easy.
Yeah, but thank you so much for sharing that. Love the energy, love the excitement. Everybody who started with us is here, so special thanks to everyone here. I think, Patrick, I like your perspective on like and creating job opportunities for yourself. So I think as a bonus, because that is the thing that we want to nurture here at the Tech Hut, I'd like to offer you a full scholarship to our upcoming cohort 2 of the Tech Hut apprenticeship, starting this July. So you open to that, Patrick Nderu?
Yes, very open.
Awesome. Nice. Yeah, I love the energy. I love that. So yeah, thank you very much for. There are more fantastic prizes on the way, and just to have show you a recap of tomorrow. Just give me a moment. Share that. Yeah, so you can check this out, the website. So tomorrow we'll be having Jefune, the founder of Bricklabs AI, and also Linux. They'll be taking us through vibe coding and building AI agents. Yeah, so today we learned about prompting, we learned about how to do automations. So now we want to build our own agents, either through vibe coding and building it from code, from scratch. Yeah. So that is the preparation that we have tomorrow, day 3. Thank you very much for attending. I will not take any more of your time. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, I think we are all free to leave. Have a good night. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. Hope to see you all, and yeah.